The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Eligwe, Zemos in Zendidendo. Heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes. Not behind you, you will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
They can't tell me.
No way.
When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is really? So when you see you try somebody's secret, when you like, you try a secret. When you like it's in public, what stupid country is that? What stupid country is that, I ask you? When you like, you try in secret. When you like, you try in private. They are killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing They are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell me what to try in secret? The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell me, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
know the meaning of discovery? It means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun.
Yes, I want to welcome you to this live broadcast today. This is a new week, and I appreciate God for the opportunity He has given to us all to be part of this new week. And I know that you are delighted that you are one of those who are made to see this week in preparation to our exit from Nigeria. I want to thank you all for joining wherever you're watching from. I know that most of us today are engaged in different activities, but for those of us who have made it a duty to be here also, I really, really from my heart appreciate you. I thank you for joining on this program, Back to Base, the program that begins the week, a new week that we are in. Today is the 22nd day of January 2023. Remember, today is the day or the last day we gave to the Nigeria contraption to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And that if he's not released on this day, then tomorrow we're going to have 2 days sit at home. We are making it a task and a mandatory duty. Yes, I use that word added to it, mandatory duty, to see that we implement everything that will make us and set us free from the contraption called Nigeria. From tomorrow, we're going to have the sit at home, 23rd and 24th of January, 2023. And this sit at home is specifically as a protest towards the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as a protest to the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And this is, of course, agreed by Biafra people and signed by Mazi Simon Ekpa, the spokesperson of Biafra. This is intended to tell the Nigeria contraption and their boss, the British government, and all allies that they have, that we are very, 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 very serious about the actions we are going to be taking from henceforth regarding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and regarding the cause of our freedom. And we're making it known this day that 23rd and 24th is just the beginning of everything that we are scheduled to do to make sure that we receive our freedom. And that is the purpose of what we have come to do. I want to appreciate you. Today is the first day of the week. Someone may be saying, why are you talking tough today? Today is Sunday. We should make it mild. No, there's nothing like being mild on Sundays, because Sundays is supposed to be the day, of course, that you carry out the mandate of heaven as brutal as you can carry it out, as very stringent as you can carry it out. Let me use the word stringent in this regard. Sunday is the day that you remember that you are created to be free, and you have to carry that action of freedom very, very critically to the later. And as Jesus represented, he represents freedom. And so the gospel of freedom is meant to propel us as Christians to do what we have to do, rather than become cowards and stupid, because the religious aspect of Jesus Christ they brought to us is the aspect where we have to be stupid and allow them to cow us around and allow them to take us for granted, and at the same time allow them to steal and to maim us, to kill us, and also to take advantage of us. And that is what we have come to discover, that the religion of man makes it possible for us to be conquered. That is the intention. That is why it is created, so that they can conquer you and put you in subjugation. But the religion of the gospel of Jesus is the religion of freedom, if I would have to use that word religion in this regard, so that because religion has been corrupted, so the word religion itself becomes like a corrupted word, that whenever you use it, it becomes very, very odd. But this time around, we are telling them that we are determined to get our freedom. I want to welcome you who is watching from wherever you're watching from, all over the nations of the world. I want to thank you, Noelin and Odiambo. You're the first person to send a message today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the message. I want to thank Mazi Kennedy Obilo, all the way from Ibilo, Edo State. Mazi, happy Sunday to you also. And all must hail Biafra from, of course, and from our brother also, Kennedy. All must hail Biafra. And I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you so much for that message, because we are here. Clement, I thank you for joining. Of course, as usual, I'm here. And of course, I'm glad you are here. Thank you so much. And Biafrans too are glad to see you. We have Eche Ula. Happy Sunday, Mazi. Thank you so much, Ula. I appreciate you for joining and for your messages. And please, as we join in, let's like this video and share it on all our social media platforms so that people can get this gospel of truth. The intention here is to saturate the world and infest the world with the gospel of truth, so that all over the nations of the world, people would know that we are serious about the truth, and then we can be able to deliver those who have to be delivered. Because what the mandate of truth does is, when it is let out, when it is sent out, it delivers those who make themselves available to be delivered, and it destroys those who refuse to accept the gospel of truth. That is why we have to give it out, because it will save lots. Even if destruction is coming, truth delivers those who want to be delivered, and it's completely defeats those who want to fight the truth. And that's what we're doing. Thank you, OAU, Organization of African Unity. Is that what you are? Joy. OAU. I hope you're not Organization of African Union or what, you know, and all of that. Well, anyways, maybe yours is Organization of African Unity. So you're working towards bringing unity to Nigeria. I'm sorry, Africa. You know. Organization of African Unity. Well, I know, I'm just joking anyway. Sorry, Joy, about that. I'm just joking. So, Joy, thank you, and may God guide you and all the autopiloters. He say, thank you so much for the prayers. I appreciate you so much. Mr. Peter Mbawalu. Is this a Zimbabwean name? Ifechuku Mbawalu. Is that what it is? Okay, Peter, smart boy. Ifechuku, thank you so much for joining. Good afternoon, Biafrans. Good afternoon to you also. Thank you for joining. Of course, John Almeida is here. Good afternoon, brother Kelechi. Thank you so much, my brother John. Thank you so much, all my brothers and sisters, all of you joining from wherever you are joining. And as your messages come, I keep telling the people, of course, and all of that. And Prince Nkem says, Prince Nkem, what are they saying about the release of our leader? Prince, they are not saying anything. They are watching our actions. They are criminals, and they would want to see what we will do. They are only sending more of their soldiers to our land where they are going to come die. More of the soldiers, I'm talking about the caliphate soldiers now. They're sending more of them, recruiting them into the military and putting them forth. Remember, recently they said they have some of them have been rehabilitated again and repented. They keep getting the badges from their masters, you know, and that is, you know, they have their generals, their caliphate generals, who continuously brings the number of them from the brutal force that they have and bring those ones that they want to recommend into the mainstream, you know, military or security outfit of the agency called you know, under the contraption Nigeria, to make it look like it is formal and it is a state-sponsored stuff, or it's a state program. So when they put them into the military, you don't always want to fight back because you think it is about the government, you know, whereas it's a collection of deceit and a planned tactical deceit of the people. Uncle Alex Ume, oh wow, good to know this. You must be a lady, right, for you to bear joy. Okay, Uncle Alex Ume. Which one is your surname? Which one is Uncle should be your surname, or your surname for as a married person? Alex Ume. Alex, Uncle Alex Ume goes together, and then Joy. Thank you so much for making us understand that. Thank you so much, Joy. And so it is a tactical thing. So they are not saying anything. And tomorrow we're going to have the sit at home. And today's program is not going to be long anyways. It's just going to be an hour program. So so that you know, we can allow people to do what they have to do and all of that. So it is a tactical program. They are designing all of these, watching rather than they, rather than they sitting and thinking about their actions and their behaviors, all they do is that they want to keep sending military and keep sending military. And yet they know that guns, bullets, and all of that cannot solve this. When the people have decided and when the people are controlled by the spirit, there's no way you can stop the people from taking the action that they have to take, and you will be crushed. So whatever thing they are doing, they will be crushed. We're going to go on the sit at home tomorrow and Tuesday. The sit at home is going to hold all over Biafra land, including those who are not in Biafra land would sit at home, because we are intended to get ourselves free. And the actions we are taking this time are going to be very, 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 very brutal on them, because they have killed us enough. And I'm going to be talking today on how Britain and Fulani have planned to completely eliminate us, Biafrans, Oduduwa people, and other indigenous nations in the contraption and elsewhere in Africa. Nwachukwu Nwakego, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you always sending your message whenever you're here too. Thank you for joining. John Almeida says Governor Okezie indirectly declared public holiday for collection of PCC instead of accepting sit at home. That don't mind those criminals. And they keep doing these things thinking that people don't, I don't know whether they think that the people are foolish. Well, we expect them to think that the people are foolish because they are Nigerians. Nigerians don't reason. They'll take actions that prove that they are just stupid. And so he's just playing on the minds of those ones who are Nigerians. We know that intellectuals understand all of this game. Public holiday in Abia Monday and Tuesday. And of course, we know that nobody is going to come out to go this public holiday. Nobody is going to come out to get any PVC. Everybody will be sitting at home. Nobody will dare come out to go for any PVC. We have banned election in Biafra land. And I'll tell you why election also in another perspective today, why election is a tool of destruction, a tool of sucking your blood. Now, let me take you through a process. Today is Sunday, so we're going to be looking at scripture. And scripture has a way, of giving us interpretation that will help us understand facts and things happening in our time very critically. Last week, I took you to the book of, Mark chapter 5, and I made some revelations through that, especially at the issue that happened at Gadara, the Gadarenes, when Jesus went to the other side, and then he saw a man, possessed with evil forces and demons, and the man was fierce. The man, when chained, he breaks the chains and he frees himself, and he begins to cut himself. When he's idle, he bleeds and cuts himself, and he cuts himself and keeps harming himself because he's possessed. Now, I made it clear to us that that man represents a Nigerian, under an influence in Nigerian, or all Nigerians under that influence. When you try to chain them because of that influence, they break loose. They cannot stay. The influence is so hard on them that they keep being busy, but busy in error and busy harming themselves. And when you try to chain them, when you try to restrict them, they will never be restricted, but yet they cannot be delivered. And when you allow them, they begin to tear themselves and harm themselves. That is what Nigerians are doing to themselves. That is what, when you hear of PVC, when you hear of, election, when you hear of, all the activities that happens within the contraption Nigeria, they are all the activity of tearing yourself and harming yourself. And that was what was happening to that man. And when Jesus asked the name, and the forces said, their legions, there are many, demonically possessed. That is what has happened to Nigerians. The Eastern governors are so horrified, yes, horrified. You can imagine, yes, they are horrified. And that is why you see that somebody like Soludo, knowing the danger that lurks ahead, has decided to try to make the minds of the people soft pedal towards him, so that whatever happens, the people are going to take it low with him. They'll say, okay, the other time he was asking for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release, so we should just pity him. We should just allow him. He knows what is coming, and so he wants to buy the minds of the people by coming publicly to sing the praise of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and to ask for his release. He knows that he's not going to be spared. And the truth here is, you cannot plan the death of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and think that you are going to survive it. You cannot wish Mazi Nnamdi Kanu dead and think that you are going to survive it. It is not possible. As long as you intended initially, the intention initially, and you got involved, as no matter who it is, no matter those who are involved, as long as you had the mind and the conscience to wish that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is or dies, and you planned to sell him off, get him kidnapped and killed, and which God protected him and kept him alive, and you thought that he was dead and everybody was quiet and waiting for the time when it would be said that he was killed in Kenya and nobody knows the reason how he was killed and nobody knows what happened to him. As long as you had that conscience to decide to be part of those who plotted the killing, sorry, and not the killing now, the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or the intended killing, the motive, the intention of killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you can never be spared. And that is the fact. We don't need to hide words. We don't need to hide about it. You can't wish, even in the law, international law, when you kill someone, you will face the law. When you kill someone, you will face the law, and you will face the law very, very seriously. Because the punishment that will come to you in some parts of the world, it is capital punishment or severe life imprisonment or something that is tantamount to proving that what you have done is grievous. So whether you come now to begin to sing the praise of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and begin to ask that he be released, he doesn't matter. It doesn't change the narrative. It doesn't change the fact that you will face the consequences when the time comes. Because in the first place, why did you decide to kidnap him? And why are you now reading the Times, knowing that now the situation is dicey and you might become, a victim, or not a victim now? You might become, you might become, held in this regard, and you are going to be brought to give account. You now begin to sing the praise of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You are trying to be tricky and very devious. And of course, we understand the deviousness of a stupid Nigerian. When you are trying to be devious, definitely we know you. We know how to read all those facts because we know you very well. And so we understand where you're coming from. We understand that you are only by trying to be tricky and devious so that you can save your head. You can't save your head when you have done something wrong. The repercussion must come. So don't think that because you have come to begin to ask Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have to be released, and whatever you are saying, Saludo and group, whatever you guys were singing, you're only going to get yourself more into trouble, because even if you sing, after singing that, you will still face the law when the time comes. Thank you so much, Eliasa. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi Ambrose. Thank you. I appreciate you for joining. Rodney says, good day, Mr. Kelechi. Thanks for the good work. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for thanking me. And also, I have Uchenna here, Chikezie, all hail Biafrans. God is on the throne. Yes, he's on the throne. Now, without wasting time, as Uchenna have said, let's go to scripture and begin to make the narrative. Remember, I told you that that man in Gadara who was chained and couldn't be chained and yet injured himself, kept injuring himself, is Nigeria. Everybody in Nigeria seemed to be taking actions that will injure them. And one of the actions that injures is the action of election in the contraption called Nigeria. Election in itself is not an error. Election in itself is good and nice for nations and for an organized system or for an organized people. But when it comes to error, you cannot design an error that is forcefully or intended to kill the people, and you bring the tool of election into it to deceive the people, to make them feel that they are in an organized system, or make them feel that they are in a system that is working for their good. Election is supposed to work for the good of the people. You can't be killing the people and bringing forth to them to show them something to look like you have an intention of good for them, when what you are doing is actually you're killing them. And Project Breakthrough package for your life, health, and wellness. Good afternoon, Bro Kelechi. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining Project and Breakthrough. And Everest Meadow, thank you so much for joining. Eku Sunday, Eku Show, Eku Sunday, She Dadani, my brother Mazi Kelechi, Eku Sunday. My brother Everest, thank you so much. She Dadani, Show Wakpa. You know how we used to speak it then, in Lagos. and all of that. So thank you so much all for joining. Now, today we're going to be going to scripture. I want to give you the narrative. Now, I'm going to still dwell on that chapter 5 of Mark. And this time around, I'm going to go into a second story that tells us, that was told us after Jesus was driven away from, from Gadara, from that side, and he had to go get into the ship to the other side of the land, or the other side of the city. And of course, the other side of the city was Gadara, where where you have the Capoli and all of that, and all those communities in those areas, where after Jesus had sent the demons out of that man, they told him to leave the city because they wanted the man to continue in that situation. And when the man becomes normal, they become afraid. And I told us last time that anytime you begin to do things normally that will help to free you, it begins to get people threatened and afraid. That is the same thing that Mazi said here. He said, Mazi Wakego, Nwachukwu said, these Eastern governors are so horrible. Okay, horrible. Okay, he said horrible. I thought you said horrified. Okay, yes, they are very horrible. Yes, we know, understand. Now, whenever the people begin to think right, the governors, the caliphate, and everyone begin to shiver and begin to tremble. And the biggest thing you can do, the biggest shock you can give to these people is to begin to think right. Whenever you think right, you get yourself ready to be free, and then you get them to be afraid of you and afraid of what will happen to them. Because when you begin to think right, you are now going to begin to reason along the line of the path of freedom, and reason along the line of the actions that are being taken against you, that have kept you in this pain, and that have made you tear yourself all this while. Anytime you do anything to favor Nigeria, you are inflicting pain on yourself. And that is the fact. Mercy Wala, thank you so much, man. Thank you for joining. And good evening to Mazi Kelechi. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Now, anytime you do anything thinking in your mind that you want to help Nigeria or support Nigeria, you are like that man, that demon-possessed man in Gadara, Mark chapter 5, who was tearing himself, inflicting injury on himself, and thinking that it was going to resolve and take away the demons out of him. The demons were so strong on him, and the influence was so strong that he began to tear himself because he was seriously grieved in the spirit, and his spirit man is locked up in the force of demonic oppression. So that influence was making him do what he never intended to do, and the more he tried to free himself, the more he injures himself. And that is what happened to that man in Gadara, and he injured himself. But one thing you should understand is this. There is something that happened to the man that surprised me in that scripture. Read that scripture very well, Mark chapter 5. As soon as he saw Jesus, he ran and worshipped. Now, that brought something into my mind. Now, you see, when he saw Jesus, the reason why he ran and worshiped was because he saw an opportunity to recover. He saw an opportunity to be free from the oppression that is inside of him. So when he saw Jesus, he didn't want to miss that opportunity. In spite of the demonic influence over him, he didn't fail to run. The demons couldn't stop him from running towards Jesus. They were inside of him, suppressing him, oppressing him, possessed him, forcing him and trying to destroy him. But he's forced himself to run towards Jesus, because that opportunity of seeing Jesus is the opportunity to be free, and which he was not going to take for granted, or which he was not going to miss. The problem with Nigerians is that they see opportunities in spite of the fact that they are oppressed and kept down. They don't go for the opportunities. The opportunity of election is another opportunity for us to be free. And only wise people discover the opportunity. So it is not about being under the oppression of Nigeria, just like the man was under the oppression of the demons. It is about seeing the opportunity to be free from the oppression, and you decide to capitalize and cash into the opportunity to be free. Elias Thomas says, helping Nigeria is directly destroying your destiny and the destiny of your lineage and future generation to come. That is it. That is what the same thing as that man injuring himself and thinking that he was doing something right. When you get involved in anything that Nigeria produces or gives to you in the name of election or the name of democracy, you are destroying your generation, because what you are given when you are put in the chamber of death is not, even if it is the best food that you eat, it's just like somebody who is going to be executed soon. They have passed the death sentence on the person and have been put in the chamber and ready to die. And then they give the person, they cook the best food of the person and give to the person to eat. Does it have any impact? Is it going to be any? It's not. It's only part of worsening your pain, because when you remember that this food is going to be your last and it's used to be your best food and you don't have any other opportunity to eat this food again, it reminds you of how you used to love this food, and it reminds you of your love for your loved ones. It reminds you of your love life that is inflicting pain on you. So giving someone who is already in the chambers to be executed the best food or the best meal, or bringing the one they loved most in their life to see them at that point in time, is tantamount to joining in election, even if you know that Nigeria is not a designed structure for election or democracy. Because Nigeria itself is not a nation. I've explained this several times. It's not a country. And you can only hold election in an organized program that is meant to favor the people. Nigeria is a business product of the British Empire, designed and forcing the people to come together as the products of that empire or the products of that business. They force the people into labor, use their energy, use everything that the people are, use as a means of getting to do the work for Nigeria, and the business money goes to the pockets of the slave masters and their stooges, the caliphate and all of that. That is why even when you go to, you know, the riverine, the coastal area today, you still see that it is the Fulanis that are in control. Even in the coastal region, in the creek, the Fulani, you see all those bunkering you're hearing, those bunkering you are hearing, it is the Fulanis that are in charge, majority of them. They use the locals, they are in charge, because they need to be in charge to protect you and to work under them. So they use their influence to protect you in the central Nigeria contraption government. All of us that holds Nigeria passports are suspected potential criminals by the US, UK, UN, EU that maintained Nigeria slavery camp. That is the truth. You are a potential suspect. That is why they treat you differently. And that is why on the 1st of January, I came here and renounced every document that I have that is linked to Nigeria, including school certificates and all of that. Everything, I renounced them. I will never, I told myself I've not gone to school. I need to start from primary school or nursery school again, if it has to be that way. You know why? Because anything that has to do with Nigeria I cannot be linked. He went in Nigeria, he did this in Nigeria. No, if I have the opportunity, I will make sure that I don't have even anything that has to do with birth connected to Nigeria. And that's what I've done. And anything that connects me with Nigeria documentation, I have erased and I have renounced from the 1st of January. And so when I prefer to be stateless, and wherever I go, I say I'm a refugee, I'm stateless, so that the world will know that I need help, than to continue to be in a contraption and have false hope. Because at the point of state and being stateless, I understand that I need to have a state, I need to have a nation. So it helps me fight better for a nation that is mine and which I shall call my own. Adeyemi Olayemi, thank you so much for joining. Good afternoon to you, Kelechi. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining. Thank you, my Oduduwa brother, and all Oduduwa people here too. And of course, we are talking about what concerns us and our common interest here. Now, that man, in spite of the fact that he was possessed with demons, he saw the opportunity when he saw Jesus, and he ran towards the opportunity, in spite of the fact that the demons were holding him down. That is the same thing that have happened to us, especially those of us who are now determined to be free from Nigeria. We have seen the opportunity to stop election in Biafra land so that we can be free. And so, in spite of the fact that we are held down by the forces of Nigeria, we are not going to miss that opportunity. Just like that demonic man in Mark chapter 5 could not miss the opportunity when he saw Jesus, and he had to run towards Jesus and worshipped. The same way also, we have seen the opportunity of stopping election in Biafra land, because election is the blood sucker of the people. I'll give you another storyline in this regard to understand how it is a bloodsucker, or how it sucks the blood of the people. In the same Mark chapter 5, there's a second story after Jesus left that vicinity, when they drove him from that city, that Gadara, Decapoli, and they drove him away, and they told him to leave their city. And he now got into the ship and went to the other side of the city, and came out, and then he suddenly was met by a man who came to me, who told him that his daughter, a 12-year-old girl, was dying, and that he needed Jesus to come and lay hands on him. Of course, you know, those days when you are sick, you have to call the elders and all of that to lay hands on you. So they have this strong belief in laying of hands, and knowing that Jesus is a healer, he knows that he knew that Jesus laying hands on the man would actually make a difference, and the daughter will actually make a difference. So he came and met Jesus, and along the line, Jesus now began to go with him. But along the line, several people were meeting Jesus in the way, and the crowd was too much. Suddenly, a woman, now this is where my story goes, and I want to link it to our cause of freedom today and what we're doing as a people. And I want to link it to how Britain, Fulani, have planned to completely eliminate Biafrans, Oduduwa people, and the people trapped in the contraption Nigeria, and all indigenous people in Africa who are kept down and low and out by the British Empire, or the British structure that is designed to keep Africa down. Because every government of the world that is supporting Britain is actually working on the template of Britain, based on the fact that Britain has actually stabilized the slavery program, even in the concept of neocolonialism. So we understand all of these details. Now, when Jesus was, on his way to heal the daughter of this man, suddenly, Nicholas, thank you so much, my brother. Good evening, Mazikalesha. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And now, so suddenly, Jesus paused. And when he paused, he asked the question. He said, "Who touched me?" And the disciples were surprised. Everybody was surprised. How can you be talking about who touched you in this kind of, sorry, just joining. What is our title today? What are we looking at? Oh, our title is here, of course, obvious on the screen. The title is How Britain and Fulani has planned to completely eliminate indigenous people, Biafra, Oduduwa, and other nations trapped in the contraption, and of course elsewhere in Africa. So these are the facts, and I'm going to be saying them how it has been planned. Now let me bring it, because I want to use it. Today is Sunday, so I'm using the scripture to make my analysis today. Oh, Nicholas, I am Wanda Biafra. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wanda Biafra. Good to see you. Wow. So you are, and I've been looking at you as, as a guy, Thank you so much, Wanda. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you. You have always been here. I was even thinking you were a guy. This is why I say Nicholas Uzamaka. Our guy is also Bear Uzamaka, and all of that. So Amaka is always, the ladies will always short him the A to be Amaka. So Uzamaka. Okay, anyways, okay. It's still it's more feminine anyways. And thank you, Mwa Biafra. Thank you. Mwada Biafra. Thank you for joining. And so we have thanks for giving me attention. Thank you so much, Adiyam. Of course, it's my pleasure to give you attention, and I will always do that, because that is my responsibility here that we are. What happened to your phone? Eliezer Thomas, okay, my phone is destroyed. It just fell and completely went bad. I took it and they said I have to get a new one. So that phone is gone. So I don't know. So that's what happened. That's why nobody could reach me yesterday. They couldn't call me yesterday. Those who wanted to call into the program couldn't call in. But I pray that God will give me another one. We always, in Africa, we talk about God. God gives us another one. So when I get another one, I'll hopefully then the lines will start going through. It's so painful and annoying anyways. So Eliezer, that's what happened to my phone. So thank you all. And now let me go to the narration here now as I'm trying to explain, Now, when Jesus paused and said, "Who touched me?" a woman came forth. Now, the Bible tells us in that Mark chapter 5 that woman has an issue, a blood issue. Now, that brings me to the concept of Britain and how they plan to eliminate us. Now, the story there is that this woman had this issue, this blood disease, for 12 years. World Igbo Congress. Yes, we have a lot of them. Even World Igbo Congress. You're correct. You're correct, my brother. You know, you're very correct. Okay, I made an error here. Okay, so okay, now see, you said we have a lot of Machuku says we have a lot of enemies, even World Igbo Congress. Yes, we have a lot of them. We have a lot of them. Some of them are just being neutral in the World Igbo Congress. Remember the last time we had meeting with them, and we saw the game. You know, we understand that people are trying to, you know, play smart, but it's not possible. You have to. Even God Himself says it in the book of in Revelation chapter 2. He said, if you are neither cold or hot, I'll spew you out of my mouth. You have to be either hot or you have to be either cold. So when it comes to things like that have to do with freedom, we don't entertain those who want to play games and make it look like and they are for you, but they are trying to be low key. You know, all this kind of sentiment, you know, all this kind of sentiment. Why would other people stick their heads out to take the risk, and you don't want to take the risk because you love your own life? So we that are bringing our necks out, we don't love our lives, right? So I that is bringing my face on media, you know, and of course they will snap my pics and give it to all their agents. Wherever you see this person, you know, you kill this person, you know. So I am stupid for bringing my face out here to talk about my freedom. I'm not stupid. I take the risk for my people. And if you are playing smart, especially those in World Igbo Congress and other parts who don't want to talk about it, they just want to play along, they just want to be calm, they want to be, you know, inside and look at it in that way, you are not being smart, you are not being wise. You have to be all out if you want to be free, especially those of you who are out there. We're not saying those in Biafra land should be sticking out their faces, no, because it is dangerous. You know, even we have some people in Biafra land who are sticking out their faces. Yes, I know a lady particularly who comes out, even on Facebook, she has faces live there. Lots of them like that who are in Biafra land, yet they are saying their things on their walls, they are speaking out, and they are damning the consequences. Some of them have been killed, some of them have been arrested, yet some people are still doing that. So we that is the courage we're talking about. Not all these two-faced people in World Igbo Congress, in Igbo whatever union and whatever they call themselves, or whatever part of Biafra land, or even if you are, you know, Hanese or Pandef or any of these political organizations, you know, built by the Fulanis to create people whom they dominate. They want to use as a means of dominating and controlling the people in the name of elders. You know, they design all these organizations, and by themselves, the Fulanis design them, and then they determine who leads those organizations and determine the folks that benefit from that aspect in the government circle, that get titles and get you know, that get positions and get government appointments, and of course those who receive grants and all of that every month from the government in those organizations, to keep them under their spell and to keep them to continue to control the people. That is the essence of these political organizations like Ohanese and Pandef and all of that. It is not for the sake of the people. It is not intended for the people. The original reason for creating them is to make sure they have a circle of people they bring together always, who will continue to enjoy the benefits from the government, and so that they will turn a blind eye to what the people are going through, and to make sure that they keeping the people under the subjugation, because the people look at these people as elders, and the people would want to just calm down. And that is why they have taken us for granted all these years. And we have said this time around, we are going to deal strongly with them, because they have killed us enough. We have to fight back. And what we are doing is survival. You know, Ronnie said something. I've not gone to my topic yet, but it's good I, you know, respond to what we are doing here too, because it's important. It's part of it. So, and let me go to what Rodney said. He said the Fulani oligarchy terrorist government have given Nigerian government passport to these Fulani terrorists from Sahel to take over. They give them passports. They give them passports on arrival. They give them citizenship on arrival, because Nigeria, that name Nigeria, is a product of British design to make sure they use as a tool of controlling indigenous people. So that name Nigeria is for Fulani's domination. It was created and handed over to Fulani. So any Fulani anywhere in the world is a product and part and parcel of Nigeria, because Nigeria itself is created not as a nation, but as a business structure for administrative purposes, where they milk the people, take the resources of the land of the indigenous people, and then they put the Fulanis as in control. If you talk about an Oduduwa person, for instance, when you address them properly, or when you address a Biafran properly, then you can now talk about their real identity. But when you call yourself a Nigerian, or you address anybody as a Nigerian, you are only a product, or you are only a stooge of the British Caliphate and the Fulani. So that's what it is. So take over from build caliphate like Taliban. US will be target of terrorists too. When we are talking about US being target too, sometimes they think that we are saying it just to drag them into the whole thing, and they know it. Of course, they know all of these. They know, but they are still playing games and still believing that they are superior. No matter what we do, we have superior weapons. No matter what we do, so wars will continue to happen in the world, and we'll keep selling our weapons. They want things to keep going bad, and even if Nigeria is taken over by forces, all they'll be doing is they'll be fighting, and they'll be selling their weapons and killing them, and they will be attacking and they will be killing, but they will still keep securing their positions as government. Remember, the government is always becomes a cabal whenever they are created in every nation of the world. So their interest is always first before the people, except few nations where people think of the people first before the nations. I mean, before any other thing, they think of the people before themselves. So the context here in which Fulani, comes anywhere and they give them the green paper, or they give them their green passport and all of that, is normal. It is not out of place. When you hear a Fulani come in, and wherever they are, even if they have not been to Nigeria before, Nigeria doesn't have soil. So when you have not been to Nigeria before, that means we're talking about that place called Nigeria in the contraption name, and not the indigenous people. Even if they have not come to any of those indigenous places, wherever they are Nigerians. The name Nigeria is their tag, is their trademark. It's like a business. When you talk about Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is a trademark, but Coca-Cola uses uses ingredients that are not products of Coca-Cola. Let me give you an instance. When you bring a bottle of Coca-Cola, you call it Coca-Cola, right? It is a brand name. It is a brand name, business name. But what is used to make that Coca-Cola is not the product of Coca-Cola. It is only they are natural products that are extracted from the land. Anybody could extract them and use them for different purposes. But when they design it and use those extracts to create that drink, or to make that drink, it becomes under that brand name, Coca-Cola. So what Britain did is this: they came to us, they took the Biafra nation, they took the Oduduwa nation, they took the other tribes and nations trapped in that area, and they made them the ingredients they are going to cook or utilize to make the brand that they want. And that brand is called Nigeria, like the Coca-Cola we're talking about here, or any other product like the Indomie. Indomie, for instance, is made from flour and all of that. Flour is a product of wheat or something, or corn planted somewhere. When you see the plant in the farm, you don't call it Indomie. You call it wheat, or you call it whatever name, corn or whatever it is. But when it is not processed and used by the company that produces Indomie or any noodles, let me not say Indomie, so I will not be advertising their product for them, and that produces noodles, when they convert it and produce their noodles and give it their brand name, whatever name they call it, it becomes that company's brand. Even if the ingredients come from a farm that the brand does not own, that does not belong to that brand company, or even if they own the farm anyways, in the farm it is not called whatever name it's called, whether good noodles or whatever, good morning noodles or quicker oats or whatever you call it, or Indomie or whatever you call it. In the farm it is called wheat, but when it is produced, it's just like when you buy bread. In the farm it is called wheat. It is called corn or whatever flour that is used to produce that bread. But when the flour or the wheat is now processed under the brand name, it now becomes the brand product, and it becomes the bread you go buy and all of that. The same way also, the indigenous people are not Nigerians being on their own. But when you want to make a brand, business brand, to steal from the people and exploit the people, you give that brand Nigeria. So Nigeria becomes the name tagged or used to mark the people so that you can easily steal from them and take what belongs to them. That's what it is. So let me go straight to the messages that are coming in so I can get your mind here. Mazi, we have a lot of enemies. Yes, we have dealt with that. Machuku, yes, we have lots of them, and they're coming in. Alex headquarters, Alexo headquarters gave it to them yesterday. I was so proud of that guy, the Urobo guy, Alex Tega. Okay, Alex Tega. Okay, all right. Okay. You listened to the program and he was wonderful. That's good. Machku says these World Igbo Congress were never in agreement with MNK. I think they were. The reason MNK said any group with Igbo in it is useless or cursed. At the point, they were trying to toe the line of Martin and Bikano, but they were not coming all out. That is why I said they are two-faced. You know, they are not being firm and they are not being straight. Good afternoon, Kelechi. You are not foolish. Even from this point, you are making history. Thank you so much. I'm not foolish at all. When all is done, who will remember them? That is it. Esther Chijum, thank you so much, Esther. Good. It's been a while. Where have you been? Good to have you here again. You know, good to have you here. And look, Prince Izem is here. Our guest for tomorrow, he's here already. Prince Izem here naturally says, look, Lily Livered and neutral people are a complete waste and condemned. They think they are clever and play safe. Why run from the truth because of death when death is inevitable? That's it. That's the very height of foolishness. They want to hide. They want to behave as if we're supporting you, but you know, we don't want to come all out. And we are in support. And we don't want to talk. We know what we are doing. Forget all this nonsense. That's nonsense. He who loves his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake. That means for the sake of freedom. When Jesus says for my sake, Jesus represents is an epitome of freedom. So when Jesus says you lose your life for my sake, means that you lose your life seeking to do things that will free humanity. And somebody's coming to tell me that and we are doing it. I don't want my face to appear. Why don't you want your face to appear? You are not straightforward. You can't even use you when Biafra come. You can't be truthful, because when you cannot bring out your face and say what you want to say the way you should say them and say the truth, then something is wrong. That means you're one of those who, when they give you government positions, you are going to steal. You're going to, manipulate. You're going to cause so much corruption in the system. Such kinds of people who don't want to be straightforward. They don't want you to know. They come to this camp, they behave like they are Nigerians. They come to the camp of the intellectuals, they behave like they are intellectuals. They come to the camp of Nigerians, they behave like they are Nigerians. It's not possible. It doesn't work that way. You can't serve two masters. You must serve one and leave the other, or cleave to the other one and leave the other. So that's how it is. Chidema Daniel, thank you. Happy Sunday, brother. Thank you so much, my sister Chidema. Good to have you here again today. I didn't see you yesterday anyways, but good to see you here. Kelechi, please don't expect anybody or majority to join this struggle. It has not happened in history of entire world. Yes, we are not expecting them, but we are preaching to get them to be saved. And we know that majority of them still will not take this gospel seriously because they don't understand what freedom is. And truth is always not attractive to the insane. It used to be few that always save the majority. So don't let us be discouraged. Yes, we can't be discouraged. In fact, the truth about it is that majority now are on the side of truth. That's the strange thing here now. Majority have been saved. What a civilized analysis here. Thank you so much, Adeyemi. Thank you so much for that. And your analysis is for a mature mind. Yes, so because a mind of a Nigerian will not understand that analysis, and they will just think that good analysis, Kelechi, in relation to brand name. Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Prince. Thank you so much. That is it. So, they will not understand that. So Nigeria is just a brand name, and the business itself is the business for the brand, but the products are not known as the brand until they are processed into and used by that brand name or those who are in control of that brand name to get what they want to achieve by the use of those ingredients. And that is why when you take corn, for instance, when you take sugar cane, you process sugar cane, you get corn, you process corn, you get what else, vegetables, you extract margarine from it, and then suddenly they go and get those things and now process this stuff. Originally, they don't fit into those brand names until they are processed to satisfy the desires of those who created that brand. So Nigeria, what Nigeria did is this, or what the British did is this: they designed that brand name, and then they take the people as ingredients and process them to satisfy their. Every brand takes the ingredients, process them to satisfy their intention for their profit. Every company takes these things to satisfy their intention. So when you see a brand, it is a group of people who actually created a brand and use what is available necessary to process the details or the materials they need or what they actually need to satisfy that brand for their profit. So when they create that brand, they need the ingredients that will be put together so that the ingredients now will form the basis of the process that will help the brand to be conspicuous. So that's what they did. They brought the Biafrans, they brought all of these people, brought us together, and then they now, we now became the ingredients. They mix and mix and mix, and then they use us to satisfy their selfish desires, their selfish ends. So we make money, they make money exploiting us, we or us that are called the ingredients. So the nations, the indigenous nations, each of the nations are now the products exploited to satisfy the desire, the selfish desire of the brand creators, those who created the brand, the British. And they have their supervisors of the brand. That is the management, the Fulanis. They are the ones who manage the brand for them by also looking for the farmers, those in the farmlands who would help them, those who are in the farmlands. Who is the farmland, or where is the farmland? We, the indigenous people, those who own the farms. They are the farmland. So they have those who are working in the farmland. They look for the corrupt people in the farmlands, using them to control other people in the farm, and taking the resources, taking the wheat, taking the corn, taking the everything, taking these things, exploiting us for the sake of satisfying the brand and the brand master. That is what is playing out. So we have to understand this in this analysis, in this regard. So even if this is the point I'm going to make for this broadcast alone, I'll be happy because time is already fast spent. I believe that by tomorrow you're going to get more and more when our guests come in, Prince Ism, and then on Tuesday I'm going to continue in this narrative and then expose how they plan to completely, and I'll give you the step-by-step processing because I couldn't do it today. I wish I could do it today. I've just something else now. I've taken my time, and now the scripture I wanted to actually use here, which is the woman with the issue of blood. I can't really analyze it because of time. Because one, I don't know what happened. There's power outrage. 2, so my system is even dying very soon, and I even have a meeting at night. I don't know how I'm going to do it. How I'm going to handle that meeting. I have to see how I'm going to stop the broadcast so that I will be able to have a little time also from the power remaining from this system to see if it can be used during the meeting for a while. In the evening. And so that's what I'm trying. I just hope the power will be restored. It's been off since early as 6 a.m. today. I don't know how it went. It's unusual, but I don't know what happened. Maybe they are fixing some stuff. I just pray it's restored. If power is restored now, I don't mind. I'll go for another 1 hour plus in this segment and try to explain and then get the narrative of the woman, the blood issue. And I want to relate this blood issue to this Biafra thing so that you will understand these things in the context of the spiritual, especially when it comes to how we reason along the line of what Britain is doing to us and also what we need to do in that regard. I'm going to use this one as a cynosure to this effect, how this action, this blood issue, this blood disease is related, and how her action also is related to the cause of our freedom. These things are critical, and I'm going to analyze it. And Prince says they know not that every killer must be killed by the same death. That is it. Why are you hiding? You believe in these things, come out and say you believe in it. Don't come and make us feel that you are for us, and when it comes publicly you pretend and you want to talk good, just like most of these politicians are doing. You can never, it's not possible. It doesn't work that way. So we know you're an enemy. In fact, the more you try to be warm, we know you are dangerous. And when Biafra come, you can never be given any political position. You can never be allowed in critical positions because you are wicked. For the fact that you are warm means you are wicked. You can betray at any time. Those who are warm in anything are betrayers. They are betrayers. Watch them. Anybody who anything you have a friend, anytime it comes to issues that concerns you, or you have a group, an organization, and when it comes to issues that it's obvious that this person have erred, the person will tell you, let's we have to let's just manage, let's just allow it go. That person is dangerous. I've been in groups where somebody does something wrong, and you hear somebody begin to talk deep, trying to be diplomatic, in quotes, and I begin to wonder what is going on. And we are talking about fighting for freedom. We're talking about walking towards freedom. We're talking about walking and doing activities, carrying out activities for our freedom. And yet we cannot be straightforward, even in that program we're carrying out. We're not straightforward. That is dangerous. You are dangerous to Biafra. You are dangerous to any nation, whether Oduduwa, any nation. They are everywhere. That's it. So I'm rounding off because of my battery to see if I can save a little. I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry. I wish I could continue this broadcast. We have a meeting. The meeting is a Biafra meeting too. So I have to save the battery. So it's not my personal meeting. It's a meeting for Biafra. That is very, very important. So I have to save this. I wish power would be restored. Since 6 a.m. It's surprising that power has been off since 6 a.m. It's just surprising. So I just pray I'll be able to get power restored so that I can return. I can continue this broadcast for the next 2 hours. Again, to make it up to 3 hours today. I wish I have that time because there are so many things I want to say. I still wonder why the obedience think that Peter Obi can correct and handle the Fulanis in every key position. That cannot be possible. While forget it. They know he cannot do that. They are only trying to deceive themselves. It is only the gullible and the foolish that will think that Peter Obi will come and tell the chief of defense staff or the chief of army staff or the chief of naval staff or all these people who are now Fulanis and tell them now to begin to kill their people or to stop terrorism when they actually are working on the program of the caliphate. The caliphate puts them there. You as people will be coming from the place they want to conquer. They just put you there. Let's just assume now that you are voted in, and they just put you there to just make it, to keep on the takia, to make everybody feel like everybody's part of this. And then you now think that you're going to come and tell the caliphate that have designed the platform and put you in. Please, let's stop being foolish. Eliezer, yes. Alexo HQ made us proud. That's why I only watch him, Mazi Simon and Biafra Global Network. Thank you so much, John Almeida. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. You're always here, and I'm always delighted when I see you also. Thank you so much. And so World Igbo Congress don't talk about terrorists anymore, but Peter, what's their business? Their own is where Bele face, where money will come now. Isn't that money? The other day, Prince analyzed the issue of money in regards to freedom on this platform, and we actually played a particular brief documentary on money. The source or the origin of money, not source, sorry, origin of money. So it is so they put the people in that position to make them think that they impoverish others and give them an opportunity to make little money from what the Fulanis are controlling, and then they make them feel like they are lords over their people, and that is what they want to continue to do. And the painful thing, I wanted to give analysis to, oh my God, I can't teach this today. I will do it on Tuesday when I have the time. I'm still going to bring this scripture, even if it's not Sunday. I'll still bring the scripture that same day, and I'm going to talk about it on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Biafra time. I'm going to talk more on these things I want to say today. That I wanted to say today in relation to what we're doing. So, World Igbo Congress does not talk about much good. They don't. They are thinking of themselves. We have met one that says, any lukewarm person is not to be trusted at all. They are great saboteurs. Any lukewarm person around you, please keep away. Be scared of them, not fear. I'm not talking about fear in the sense of, be careful of them. They are horrible. I'm sorry. Can MSC invite the prince to his program? His understanding is great. He should be at the front to tear down the wall of Calvin Nigeria. MK will be happy happy his analysis. Yes, of course, you know that this period, Mazi Simon is actually we're in the dragon stage, where most of the time he has to do lots of his analysis the way he wants to, based on the fact that he's facing. But you see, as we go on, that time will come. Mazi Simon will start featuring people, in his program And of course, when it comes to analyzing things like this, he will be doing that. We have about 42 days to go and to see how after this Biafra continues. Definitely, we are going to still have these platforms broadcasting and talking and doing what we have to do. And analysis will be coming on to teach and to orientate and reorientate the people. So, Rodney, yes, it will happen. It will happen. It will happen. So, John Ahmed said, I think we should make a giggle of 1 minute explaining what a nation is to followers of Biafrans. Okay, a jingle, right? You're talking about jingle, right? A jingle, yes, yeah. I think we that is a good, that is a good suggestion there. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to see how that will be possible. I wish I can create one myself. Maybe I'll just see. I'm going to do it and create it from the system here and see, unless if I go get someone. Well, let's see how it goes. We're going to do a jingle to that regard, so we can explain what a nation is, and so that people can understand, and also explain the concept of Nigeria, being portrayed as a nation and using the tools of nationhood to deceive the people, like things like election, to make the people feel that they're actually part of nations of the world and doing the things that nations do. So it's a deceit program. It's a complete takia. That is a tactics, that they use in deceiving the people. Messinwala says, okay, Adeyemi is talking to one Messinwala. It used to baffle me too. It's how much do they think they can change Nigeria within 8 years? Maximum that will happen when it gets back into what will happen when it gets back into them. Okay, what will happen then after that when it gets back? Okay, when it gets back, I think that's typographic error. What will happen? Wonderful work you're doing, Mazi Casey. Keep the flag flying higher. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Christian John is here. Thank you so much, Christian John. All hail Biafra. So that is it. I'm going to stop this broadcast here. Tuesday, I'm going to continue on this narrative to see. It's just that I've not got power supply yet restored, and so I cannot do more than what I've done now, so that I can have a little battery to do the work of Biafra later in the evening. I think in the next 2 hours or so, we're going to, or 2 hours or so, yes, 2 hours plus, we're supposed to have another meeting on Biafra, on the matter of Biafra too. So I need to save my battery. I'm really sorry. I have to end it here. I've not even started the program for today. I've not even said what I want to talk about today, but because the issues, but the fact that I've mentioned the brand, product, and all of these is enough for us to understand this. So please join me 4 p.m. on Tuesday as I continue this analysis. But tomorrow we're going to have Prince Ezem here by 4 p.m. Biafra time. He's going to come with another exposition in another dimension that will blow your mind. And of course, tomorrow we're going to be looking at the nitty-gritties or the details of how, Nigeria is a destruction to lives. The details of how Nigeria is a destruction to lives and how it is self-destructive to tell yourself that you are Nigerian. Prince will handle all of that tomorrow. How destructive it is to think that you are Nigerian, and you will understand all of these facts, in his own analysis. And thank you so much all for joining. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Please share this video as you like it. Share it on all your social media platforms and send it on all your social media platforms. Let the people join you, and let's do this thing together. As an ambassador of truth, you are to do this. Share on all your social media platforms. Click the notification button and also like the video. When you like it, people also see it and they see the likes. They want to join and watch what you like. So thanks. God bless. Thank you so much, Adeyemi, Olayemi. Thank you. God bless you too. And everyone who is watching and everyone who is going to share this broadcast, God bless you as you propagate the truth by sharing on all platforms. And also subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. Let's expand the borders of this channel so that it will reach every corner of the world for the truth to be told humanity. Thank you all. See you tomorrow 4 p.m. as our guests join us and we talk about the truth. Nothing but the truth on this hallowed platform. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. I love you all and appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Today, the first day of the week. Remember, tomorrow is Sit at Home. Tuesday, Sit at Home. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released today, 22nd of January. Thank you so much all. I appreciate you all and I love you all. Thank you.